Have you ever been working on something, thinking to yourself, is this any good or is this garbage? And then go to AI and ask it for some help, and it spits out an answer so confidently that you stop and think to yourself, wait, am I the dumb one here? Today, I'm going to show you the prompt that I use more than any other prompt, and it is so powerful that you'll find that it's not only improving your product, it's also improving your process, all while keeping you in the driver's seat. Let's get started. Let's start out by emphasizing one really important thing. Before you use this prompt, you have to create something. Going to ChatGPT or Gemini or any other large language model and asking it to complete your work for you is not going to improve your process. It might get you a product that is worthwhile in the short term, but in the long term, remember, that's going to harm your critical thinking. But if you haven't seen that video yet, I highly encourage you check that out. It's in the description below. But once you get to that place where you have some sort of draft that you are working with and you're feeling confident about it, then you can go to AI and use this prompt. Let's check it out. The prompt follows this guideline. You say, I am blank, where you fill in the role of who you are playing as, followed up by who is working on blank, where you fill in exactly what you are trying to produce. You then attach or copy and paste what you have done so far. That way AI knows what it's working with. Then you simply follow it up with the foundation of the prompt. Please give me the pros, the cons, and suggestions for improvement so that I can take this in the right direction. Feel free to edit it a little bit as well. You may want to throw in extra context. Things like, I'm trying to be funny, I'm trying to be professional, I'm trying to make a good impression. Those little details can allow AI to craft a response specific to what you are trying to accomplish. But also remember the foundational rule. Everything that AI gives you is not always going to be good. So sometimes it's going to give you great ideas, other times it's going to give you ideas that you may not want to go with, which is why it is so important that you stay in the driver's seat. Let's check out this prompt up close. Now that we're in ChatGPT, the first thing we got to do is attach what we're working with. To do that, we simply click this plus button and then add photos or files, and then select the exact thing we're going to work with. For me, I'm a teacher, so I wrote a test and I'm curious to find out how am I doing with that test. Now that I've attached it, I simply have to type. I am a teacher who is writing a test for their personal finance students. Please give me the pros, the cons, and suggestions for improvement. I send that through and I wait to see what it gives me. At the top it says we had excellent breadth of content covering all the subjects we cover in class, had a clear question structure, so that's good, they understand what I'm saying. Balanced difficulty, something I oftentimes struggle with, maybe sometimes having too many difficult questions or too many easy ones. They say relatively there are some good balanced questions in here. However, I can focus on doing more than just recall questions. I could work on having a few answers not be so obvious, and I can throw in a few more complicated thinking-based questions, all really good suggestions. Going down to the bottom, it's going to walk me through different ways that I could improve this test, but the most important thing is don't assume that every suggestion is great. It is your job, since you are in the driver's seat, to decide which of these suggestions I want to implement and which ones I want to ignore. And just like that, I was able to get some quick feedback on something I was working on. But the best part was, it wasn't just about improving my product, it was fundamentally challenging the process. Asking me, did you consider this or did you consider that? And even though I was showing you a teacher example, you can also use this as a student. Whether you're working on a speech or working on a paper or some other kind of project, you can think to yourself, did I think of everything? And ask AI to ask you additional questions, tell you what you're doing well, tell you where you may be weak still, and give you some ideas for how you can improve. All right, time for a quick nerd moment. The question is, why does this work? And there's three reasons. Number one, When you attach exactly what you are working on, it anchors AI into your context. You show it exactly what you're thinking, where you're trying to go, and it gets a lot more understanding about the process and the product you're aiming for here. So no more guesswork for AI, it can see what you're doing. Number two, you give it real information to work with. No longer is it having to try and figure it out or create something from scratch. It is instead editing or providing some suggestions for improvement. And number three, you're asking for critique, but not handing over control. This allows you to be the person in charge and make things that are actually your own. Furthermore, when it provides you ideas for improvement, it challenges your process. So the next time you're working on something, you might remember, oh, I made this mistake before. Now I'm going to do my best to avoid it again. But ultimately, AI becomes a second set of eyes rather than a replacement for our brain. And that is the most important part. I'm Luke with Groovy Education, where we have trained over 250 schools on how to responsibly bring AI into their classroom. If you're interested in our services, we have links below, including training opportunities, a school community that you can get into for free now, but you gotta hurry. And finally, if you liked this video, then please like so other people can see it, subscribe so you can see future videos, and be sure to send it to another teacher who might be interested in showing it in their class. But until next time, see ya.